Welcome back to Out of My Head on YouTube. It's Friday at least.
So welcome back to Out of My Head on YouTube with KMO and...
I don't do Pat.
That's all I had, man. Okay. Colin, that's Colin. Two topics today. First, national security and information technology. Huawei, U.S. government, 5G routers. Go.
I saw an article about Huawei and Donald Trump, and I sent KMO the link without reading it. And then I read it this morning because he said he wanted to talk about it.
And?
Dude, isn't 5G just like less secure than 4G? Is it actually faster? I have no idea. I have to do probably weeks worth of research to have some real informed opinions here, but
5G will give us faster data speeds. The antennas don't have nearly as much range, so there'll be a lot more of them. People are concerned that they will cause health problems, and the U.S. government is concerned that U.S. companies don't make these routers. Only Chinese companies do. How can you have a 5G network without 5G routers? If you don't build them yourself, you have to buy them from somebody else. But you know what? China makes all our shit. They make all of our shit. So there are agencies within the Department of Defense that are supposed to be forward-thinking, forward-looking think tanks, considering the implications of technology for U.S. national security decades in advance. And if they didn't see that we're going to have 5G routers to have a 5G network, and that the U.S. doesn't have the capacity to build the damn things, that we're going to have to rely on China. Who didn't see that coming? Whose job is it to look ahead and see this shit? Who didn't see this coming? Yes, I spent a lot of money on my truck yesterday and it's not fixed.
So your day's about to get worse. Do we actually need 5G?
I don't need 5G.
5G would be replacing 4G cell phone towers, right?
Not replace, supplement.
Oh. Okay.
You know, if you roam around and you look at your phone, sometimes you've got 4G, sometimes you get 3, sometimes you get LTE. It just depends on where you are.
Who needs faster connection on their phone? Like, I can already watch YouTube and stuff. What else am I going to be playing League of Legends on the bus now?
Constant growth.
I mean, yes, but also
you have to constantly be replacing what you've got with something new.
I mean, like, I think it would be better to be working on like placing fiber lines for actual internet usage from homes and businesses. What's your feel free to disagree. Please tell me. I'm not educated on this subject. I didn't do weeks of research to form an opinion.
Let's talk about Alabama.
It's a state.
It's a state.
Recently passed the heartbeat abortion bill.
The heartbeat abortion bill. Yes.
I really should go and read through the entire bill because there's few states that pass them at the same time, and each one's slightly different.
There is a coordinated effort by southern states to repeal Roe v. Wade. They are looking for some really draconian anti-abortion measures that will be challenged, probably by the ACLU, and will go to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court, packed recently with right-leaning judges, will make a ruling. But Pat Robertson, you know Pat Robertson?
No.
Know your name? Pat Robertson is a televangelist of old. He's a very old dude now, but he commands the respect and attention of a great many, baby boomer and older Southern Christian conservatives. And he came out and said, this bill is too harsh. It will be struck down even by the current Supreme Court.
They are going extreme with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know Georgia has the 2 very important clauses. I think it was Georgia. Double check the stuff I say, please. In case you didn't know that one yet. Georgia had the mother can't be prosecuted, and if the mother's going to die, it's okay to
The Alabama bill only prosecutes doctors.
And does it have the clause for the if the mom's going to die?
It has a clause for health of either the baby or the mother. So if the pregnancy would risk the health of either one.
So it's really not extreme then?
It's pretty extreme. Compared to
in my
other
opinion,
states.
that's perfect. I think every state should have that. It should be national.
Should it be up for a vote?
No.
Okay.
We don't do morality based on democracy here. Should murder be up for a vote?
Well, I'm pretty sure that if you put it up for a vote, people would vote in all 50 states to keep it illegal.
Keep it illegal or legal?
Illegal.
Well, then let's do it.
No, I think it's already in place. We don't have to put whether or not murder is a crime up for a vote.
Oh, you confused me.
No, not abortion. No abortion bill like the one from Alabama is going to pass in California or New York or Washington State or Oregon or Vermont for that matter.
Federal level. Only time I let the federal government do anything. No, seriously. It's
I just want to share a few facts here
Yes,
about
please.
the state of Alabama.
Yes.
U.S. News and World Report ranked all of the states in terms of healthcare, education, economy, infrastructure, opportunity, fiscal stability, crime and corrections, and the environment. And out of 50 states, its overall ranking is 49, second to the bottom in the aggregate. In individual rankings, Alabama ranks number 46 out of 50 for healthcare, 50 out of 50 for education, 45 out of 50 for economy, 38 for infrastructure, 45 for opportunity, 23 for fiscal stability. People are stable in their poverty. 45 for crime and corrections, and 35 for the environment. So let's look at those first two. 46 out of 50 for healthcare and 50 out of 50 for education.
So what was the source on that again?
The U.S. News and World Report, mainstream news magazine.
I did have you send that. He sent that to me and I did read it.
Yep.
If you click on the one that says education, you will then see pop up with the stuff they had. And on one of their things, boom, right there, high school completion rate, NA.
Not applicable.
So they're using incomplete data sets or what? If there isn't incomplete, they're comparing stuff without having the complete data. I'm sure Alabama, but.
All they list for education is debt at graduation. It's $31,899 for Alabama. The national average is $28,650, and their math scores are a little below average. The average is 283. They got 268. It's not as bad as could be.
So, should I be taking this more seriously? It's just some magazine that isn't even using complete data sets to make.
Use it as a starting point. Dig into it further if you care to. But I think it's pretty clear that in terms of healthcare and educational opportunities, you don't want to be born in Alabama. That's not a good place to get started.
I mean, to be fair, when I looked through this website, and when I was looking through them, the one that appealed most to me for where I want to live is fiscal stability. Because, that's called not being homeless. And
well, let's see what they mean by fiscal stability.
I didn't look too much into it. I was at work, so.
Alrighty. Fiscal stability rankings. It was not the U.S. Constitution that enumerated the basic rights of Americans, it was the Bill of Rights, and it was the Constitution's 10th Amendment that reserved an unspecified array of rights for the states. Quote, "The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited to it by the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people." Close quote. The fiscal stability of a state's government is vital to ensuring the success of government-sponsored programs and projects and the quality of life of the state's residents. In modern times, the rights and powers of states have been asserted in a broad range of services for their citizens, delivery of public education among them. And effective state administration and fiscal health have become increasingly important as some have achieved economic status equivalent to foreign powers. For example, the economy of California is equal to that of France. Tennessee is the top state for fiscal stability. It is followed by Florida, South Dakota, North Carolina, and Utah to round out the top 5. Half of the 10 states with the best fiscal stability also rank among the 10 best states overall. All right, so again, Alabama,
23.
they're not in the top 15. Where were they?
23.
23.
Which is above average.
Yeah.
So
average.
if they have.
How does that relate to abortion in your mind?
Well, if we're going into the states, how does education have?
My point is that if Alabama is looking to solve important problems, I suppose it depends on your opinion about what abortion is. If an early term abortion is identical to murder, then sure, that's the exact top priority. That's as it should be. I mean, the whole state could be on fire and people could all be bleeding to death, and the thing you should solve first is abortion. But if you think that a creature without a nervous system, without much of a brain, without any sense of self, without the ability to feel pain, if that's more important than living human beings, abortion's your top priority. But if living human beings are a higher priority, then I don't see that this is really a way for Alabama to improve the quality of life of its citizens.
I'm not going to say alive, because there is certainly a point where a fetus is alive. You can disagree on me. Well, we can disagree on the point, but there is a
sperm
point where
cell's alive, an egg cell's alive. I have no problem with that.
Okay. So I'm going to say born human beings Keeping them alive is a top priority. Keeping them educated is on themselves. Keeping them fed is on themselves. Keeping them healthy is on themselves. Self-responsibility. A fetus can't really protect itself from a tube going up there and going.
You know, if you want to be righteous, then sure, preach on about responsibility. But if you care about the outcomes of your state, if you have a better, higher quality education, if you have access to health care, you're going to have fewer abortions. You're going to have fewer unwanted pregnancies.
People, again, unwanted
Again,
pregnancies
if you
are
want to be
responsibility.
righteous, then just preach on about responsibility. But if you care about the actual outcome,
Can't say righteous without right.
Sure, you can't say righteous.
I'm all
without
for
right,
educating
but
people.
righteousness
and, hell,
is a drug.
I'm plenty fine giving out free condoms and stuff, but in the end of the day, these unwanted pregnancies are this lack of education bullshit. It's excuse my language. It's
YouTube.
I'm a 16-year-old girl who doesn't take care of myself. I'm just gonna go get laid and not make him wear a condom because I'm stupid. And
Where do you think Alabama ranks in terms of the quality of the sex education in public schools?
I don't know. Probably
Yeah.
not very good.
Do you think that public school teachers in Alabama are allowed to talk to students about condom use?
I don't know.
Do you think there'd be more or fewer abortions if they did have comprehensive sex education for young folks in that state?
See, I don't have enough research on that. But
Do you care about outcomes?
Not really.
Not really.
I care about not killing babies more than I care about educating. I mean, this isn't righteousness. This is, I think it's murder. So, I mean, no, I don't know. There's a way to go about sex education, but when you're teaching in like elementary school and stuff, please stop. There's a lot of indoctrination into this little cult. Democrats priming their children. It's a little messed up. In high school, you can have hey, how does a baby get made? Well, when he goes like this and goes fruit and then boom, baby, puh. So don't do that.
So you're okay with the abstinence-only education?
I mean, abstinence is probably the best way to present pregnancy. Controversial opinion. But, I mean, no, you can also teach what a condom is, but number one should be, hey, you're not in a really stable place right now. Probably not the best choice. But if you do it because you're stupid anyways, at least make sure A, you're on the pill. I'm talking from one's perspective, and B, he wraps it in latex. If you use both of those, you ain't getting pregnant.
Okay, but do you think that public school teachers in Alabama at the high school level are allowed to say that to their students?
I have no idea, do you?
I don't.
Okay, so neither one of us know. Anyone from Alabama, please let us know.
Yeah.
Crap, what was I going on about? And the parents need to be okay. What person 14 or older doesn't know what a condom is? They're on the internet.
Knowing what one is and knowing where to get one, how to keep it, intact as you carry it around, like the condom in the wallet that you've had there for months on end is useless. Throw it away. Get a new one. Carry it around in a hard case.
What kind of fucking nerd carries it about? I'm a little
The
worked
kind
up.
of nerd who doesn't want to get a sexually transmitted infection and who doesn't want to get somebody pregnant.
Just do what I do.
Don't have sex?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesus was right about something. You don't get unwanted kids if you keep it in your pants till you're married.
Did Jesus say that?
The Bible said something about it. I don't know if Jesus said anything specifically on that.
Ah, the Bible, off-cited little red.
I wasn't citing the Bible, but
We didn't set a timer again.
no, but it's about time now.
How does Vermont compare?
How does Vermont
You have
compare?
two extremes, one very conservative and one very liberal.
One very liberal. I can say I know a bunch of people who had abortions in this state and don't regret it because they're too stupid to use a condom, even though they were taught how to.
So we offer a lot of services here in Vermont, but how do we compare?
Know a bunch of 16-year-olds who are getting pregnant and getting people pregnant.
We both have major rural parts, but Alabama's good.
How's Vermont doing?
School safety center.
Yeah, let me go back to the U.S. World Report so we're getting the apples to apples comparison.
Didn't we already decide that site's kind of eh?
Well, we've been quoting statistics about Alabama from that set of
Okay,
data.
well, we can compare with that set of data. That's fine.
Right.
Just I don't take it too seriously.
Why? What's wrong with?
It was an incomplete data set.
Oh,
They're like, oh, Alabama's worse in education. Don't have the numbers of high school graduates. How do you compare it? They have like 3 things listed, and one of them they don't have the data for. So how the hell are you comparing it? Alabama might be the worst in education, but they're 23 in fiscal stability, quality of life.
Which is to say, at best, they're average.
They're
They're
above
average in one statistic.
The one that
They're at the
actually
bottom of
matters,
everything else.
how I'm living my life, if I'm keeping my children fed, blah, 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 blah. The one that actually matters. So even if they're the lowest in education, they're somehow above average in actual living successfulness. Collins worked out today.
More than 9 out of 10 Alabama public school students who started the 9th grade in 2013 graduated in 2017. So that's a pretty good high school education or graduation rate, actually, about 90%.
It's better than the school here.
They have to with the No Child Left Behind Act, right? The state has to meet certain standards to receive that federal funding.
Now, as somebody who graduated from high school, I know it doesn't take a whole lot. You basically have to show up.
As someone who dropped out of high school, I know that if you drill on yourself, you're more likely to get a diploma than if you actually want to be something. Don't get me started on this topic. That'd be going for next week. Why Colin thinks public school is the biggest load of crap there ever was.
Well, we'd be in full agreement on that one. Anyway.
All right.
Not the concept of public school, but the actual implementation of it in the United States.
You have any more topics you want to talk about?
Let's go back to the first one.
I don't care.
You don't care? We don't need 5G.
I don't see much more use for it.
If we want it,
Sure.
we should build the infrastructure so that we can make the equipment ourselves.
Yes, I'm for that.
Yep.
Also, fiber lines to businesses, much more important than making my cell phone a little bit faster. Right? Yes.
Wonder Twin Powers,
I'm
Come on.
angry.
deactivate.